Broads Media.
Ron Rivera is a loser. That was a loser decision to play for overtime. You failed your locker room. You failed your team. The Eagles were on their heels, all right? We're not sugarcoating this. They were definitely a little bit nervous on what was happening. You're a couple yards away from going on the road and knocking off a team that doesn't even have a loss in the loss column yet, and you decide to possibly give Jalen Hurts another chance to put the ball in his hands? That's a disgrace. I'd be pissed, but I'm not pissed because the Eagles won again. Yeah, there's some things to clean up. Some penalties were annoying, although a lot of it had to do with the referees sucking ass, but that's what you're supposed to expect on a Sunday at this rate. All right, Edmonds with the bang-bang play, which gave them 15 yards. A.J. Brown, he took accountability and said that Jalen Hurts already got into his grill for that, and you got to put the team first. And, I think it's a little soft if I'm just being the one that gets to rate it for a second here because, well, I don't know, you're in the NFL, and you're talking your talk. You're battling. You're putting up 175 on the day. You're busting opponents' ankles nonstop. So you score a big touchdown. Let them have some fun with it. What a stupid league we waste our time on nonstop, but I'm sorry. This is what our lives are, and there's no way for me to do anything else in life during the fall except for this. My wife was even contemplating what Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson were thinking, and I'm like, hey, hello, Coach Kara over there. Let's chill out. I'm making in-game decisions on the couch, just chilling. A little different with the headset on there, Coach, as if I don't do it 24/7 and for my bills. But anyway, I'm a little torn on how to assess that. If there's a minute and change left in the game, you have, one timeout if you're the Washington Commanders? Your team scoring a touchdown. I know it's easy to bang your fist on the table, run it off, run the clock. I've seen some of their run plays, to be honest with you. Do you like their 3rd and 11 decision? Do you like some of their play calling and Jalen Hurts keeping it instead of throwing it? Absolutely not. Kenneth Gainwell, I'm just saying it's not automatic that you win the game. You very well probably could have. And, you bear down when the game matters and you try and put a team away. I think that they absolutely could have won doing that. But at the same time, your defense needs a stop. And you get them where there's 17 yards to go to move the chains. Make a play. If you make the play, then we're not even in this predicament. Make your play if your defense just steps up. A lot of Jonathan Gannon-esque things from Sean Desai. 3rd and 4, 25-yard gain. 3rd and short, 32-yard gain. What are we doing? If it's nonstop, wide open, no one even near you at all on 3rd downs, it's a schematic thing. Finding holes in the gap. Eric Bieniemy pantsing and dancing around Sean Desai. And I know that there's a lack of talent. Slay goes down. Bradbury goes to the outside. There's a lot of activity, and some of your safeties weren't even dressed for today, and they didn't practice throughout the week because they're not healthy. So you're dealing with stuff. And Morrow steps up out of nowhere and gets 3 sacks on the day. He had 3 sacks. Hassan got his first one, which is a beautiful watch. But Morrow, I think he was a problem, though, for one of the touchdowns that they scored. And this game started out odd. Here's a sustained 7-minute or so drive by Washington. They score early. The Eagles respond with one of their own. And this is where I thought the game could have flipped completely. It was Washington's second drive. I'm sorry, but Edmonds, you have to catch the interception in the end zone. That stops the Commanders. Then there's a fumble, and I think it was a mix between Bradbury and Morrow that popped the ball loose. The Birds can't jump on it. That's game-changing plays. I think that sucks the life out of anybody standing on that Washington sideline. It's early in the game. The defense is taking over. They're putting the offense in nice positions. They're taking the ball away from any of their playmakers. Like that's what you do. And no, you fail. That's crazy. A lot of penalties. A ton. Some by the refs, some by yourself. The tush, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to do that every single damn time. I just don't know how to say that combination of words. The refs were clearly noted to look for the tiniest little details, and they got suckered into all the complaining. I just watched Mac Jones and the New England Patriots fail pretty miserably trying it. They said, okay, I want you to zoom in super close, see if Landon Dickerson's fingers are a half inch past the ball, and if they are, I need you to blow the whistle, even though they can throw their hands underneath Jason Kelsey and the football. It's an embarrassment that the league and the refs allowed all the vocal people and all the local stuff to actually dictate the call in the game. It's terrible. Zach Cunningham gets a penalty. Terrible. The Bradbury. What about the Darius Slay call? What are you watching? Like, what are you actually doing when you're supposed to be looking at the play? Because you are so off. So off. I'm surprised at this rate that they got the Reed Blankenship pushing Terry McLaurin out of bounds play right, and that was the right call. But God forbid, on the field, they elected to say it was a catch. There was a 0% chance that they have enough firepower in their brain to use their brain cells and then actually get the call right and flip it and overturn it. That second foot landed on the whites, but I know for a fact, I guarantee it's that if it was the other way on the field, we were screwed. But Reed Blankenship, not only on that down, pushes McLaurin out of bounds, but makes a tackle on second, too. I thought Jalen Hurts had some of the best throws of the year, and there were a lot of them. Putting the ball where only his receiver or tight end can grab it. Zacchaeus, a dot. A major dot. Dallas Goedert, there's a defender right there. Nope. Here's Dallas Goedert. There's a half an inch that matters. He gives it that half an inch. Oh, fellas, that half inch, it goes a long way. And that half inch, it gave Dallas Goedert the chance to make the snack. What other ones were there? Because there was Goddard one, AJ a billion times down the left sideline. And then also, guys who can go up and get it and put two hands on the football and high point it when needed. Here's Smitty right before half, and they get 3 points before they get the kickoff to start the third quarter. And, I would have maybe went for it on certain fourth downs instead of kicking a field goal. All right, now you're inching your way closer into this. I probably would have seen if I can get the first down and go for 6 and add another 7th, right, instead of kicking 3, but they elected to go their route, and it worked. It's very hard to be 4-0 right now. Reuben Frank started off the post-game show with some outrageous stat on how it's nearly impossible to go to the Super Bowl, be as good as they were last year, and then start the following season off with this record. And I know that there's a lot of things that aren't great right now. This defense and Sean Desai, there are some question marks. And I would have loved to see Jalen Carter just actually record the sack instead of how slipping through and finding the sideline. Dude, Jalen Carter, you're so good. You're so special. You are a ridiculous talent. Please take him to the ground next time so it's not a personal foul. All the laundry's being thrown. I thought they were killing the Eagles. Basically, all of the drives where something happened with the Zebras, here's Washington. They punch it in or they will score. Crazy. They always give us trouble, though. There's something to be said about these two teams. And last year when the Eagles were fantastic, here comes the thorn in the side. Is that the saying? There's a thorn in your side. That's the Washington Commanders for us. No matter who's at quarterback, no matter who's coaching, it doesn't matter. It just seems, even though Ron Rivera has been there for a while now, and he had arguably the most biggest loser decision in the world. If you want to have a toss-up between them and the Chicago Bears on who made the worst coaching decision, and I'm not even putting the Eagles in that category, while there are mind-numbing things that happened in this football game and some really questionable decisions on play calling, some red zone choices still problematic, Jalen Hurts keeping the football still problematic. It doesn't look as if Dallas Goedert is super comfortable in this offense yet, better than where it was, and Jalen Hurts was throwing the football like elite quarterbacks do, dropping it right into the chest, having your receivers run full speed and not lose a step and keep their stride, and they pursue, or keep their stride, excuse me. The offense strives when that happens, and A.J. Brown, Devontae, you got more accustomed to your skill position players being a force, and not so much the run game. It wasn't a DeAndre Swift show, so shame on me for betting the over. I think I got it at 66 yards for DeAndre Swift. I came about 10 yards short, but my bookie is the presenting sponsor here of Sports Talk with Broads, and as a bettor, you demand perfection. My bookie delivers. There's still some games happening here on Sunday, depending on when you're listening to this. Monday Night Football and the Philadelphia Phillies are starting off their postseason run, and you have to, listen to me right now, you have to go to my bookie and set up an account. Use promo code BROADS with your deposit. There's a bonus where you get extra money. You have to start playing. Now's the time. There's nothing sweeter than the adrenaline rush when you're watching a game with some cash on it. I love it. I live for it. It's an adrenaline thing, and it's amazing, and you have to check it out. NFL, college football, brand new cash out system that gives you options to bet and win all season long. So, check out their daily odds boost, same game parlays, and super contest. This season, MyBookie has a no strings attached cash bonus that lets you deposit and withdraw quickly. If you use promo code BROADS on a deposit of $50 or more, you can receive up to $200 in cash instantly to your MyBookie account. Check the link down below in the description. You can click that, sign up with promo code BROADS. Check it out for sure, for sure, for sure. Okay, I'm stuck. I'm sorry, but I am stuck because I think it's so simple to bash Nick Sirianni for not running it out and at the end of regulation putting it through the uprights with Jake Elliott because he, quite frankly, does not miss. And I would not have had outrage at all if they did that and they secured the win with a 1 second left on the clock type of field goal attempt, and bada bing, bada boom, you walk out of the link and you're going to Xfinity. Maybe you run into Bryce Harper, Brandon Marsh, Garrett Stubbs, and the crew celebrating a nice Sunday afternoon win, even though that makes no sense because they had a game today playing the New York Mets. So that makes no sense. But let's just say that did happen. Okay, that would be great. I would not be pissed off at all. I wouldn't say, well, you could have got 7 and you didn't. For me, the objective is to win the football game. And they are not playing pretty right now. Do you know how many teams would not be 4-0 when playing the same exact game? There's a mental fortitude that this group has. There's a collective way that they rally together when needed, when the big plays are there. They believe in the quarterback, and that's why this all happens. They know that on any given snap, he could wreck the game and make something wow everybody who's watching the television. Sports Center top 1 of the top 10 plays. Jalen Hurts has it. So I don't want to hear any more about, well, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and this and that. Yeah, here's a buck 175. Go look at the last 2 games. And then Jalen Hurts already in his face after the unsportsmanlike penalty in the 15 yards, which clearly was a backbreaker during that final drive. What hurt me the most was the 17. What are we doing? Oh, man. Tendencies, yes. Tendencies of Jonathan Gannon. Win the football game. They won it. And Jalen Hurts looked way better than before. So let me get this straight. I know we're supposed to live week to week, and we react to the latest game that we've witnessed. But leading up to this point, what were the concerns? This offense doesn't look right. They're leaning on the run game too much. Can they beat good teams when the other teams can score in a shootout consistently and Pat Mahomes, with 20 seconds left and a timeout, can go the distance? The guy's a freak. How do you keep up pace if you're leaning on DeAndre Swift and you're playing the time of possession game? Fair question. But there were really no arguments about the defense because the front was getting home. I expected the front to get home more, even though I did see some big sacks. I thought they put themselves in reasonable down and distances defensively, and that's when they would maybe fail. The first few weeks, offense, no bueno. Defense, 2 thumbs up, a lot of pressure. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and of course, what you have on the outside in Darius Slay, Reed Blankenship. Okay. So now after one game of the defense getting shredded and the offense is clicking, oh no, now the defense, or each game stylistically will be different. And I don't know if that's supposed to make it easier for you. It's more about the expectation when you sit down. When I sit down, knowing who leads this team, I'm comfortable saying, find a way. Don't know what it will be today. Don't know what it will look like. And I'm going to take something that I learned when I was playing college hockey that my coach expressed to me, and I definitely let that soak in when I was on the ice because it freed up my mind and allowed me to take risks. But anyway, this game is made of mistakes. Football's different. Hockey, the game's moving so fast, and turnovers with the puck and all. It's different, but it's the same. You're going to make mistakes. I'll never coach and stand behind the bench and for 60 minutes think that every pass will be crisp. Every single shot from the point gets deflected. Every shot in your D zone you block. It's impossible. What do we do through the ups and downs? How do we handle the next drive after that happens? You can't run away from it. It sucks. You have to prepare yourself to limit those. But when it does show up, how do you respond? What's the next drive? What's the next stoppage? If you're on the defensive side and you have to get a stop and you have to stop that series, are you Swiss cheese? Or do you put the clamps down and you force it 3 and out? I watch the Eagles that way. I relax. And I say, all right, there will be a fumble. Now, we didn't get turnovers from your quarterback either, and that was my biggest knock on this team, really, leading up to this game, is Jalen Hurts has way too many interceptions. We can't be doing that. That was his strength. That one won't change and can't change. If it does, we have a serious issue. Played a clean one. Oh, there was also the flag downfield. They recognized a lot of pressure was coming. Jalen checks it at the line of scrimmage. Him and A.J. Brown weren't connected and on the same page. And then you get a flag. Kicks them out of field goal territory. Well, we'll get right back into it. Here's a 50-plus yarder and Jake Elliott. I'm sorry, Jake Elliott, the disrespect that I didn't give you the praise for having a hell of a leg. He's one of the best kickers in the league. You have a luxury. Keep using it to your advantage. Keep letting it fly, dude. 60-yarders, 55-yarders, 56-yarders, 58-yarders. It don't matter. Bank it. 3. Amen, dude. Amen. I love it. Zero doubt in my mind we were winning that football game as soon as the Washington Commanders lost that first drive after the coin flip. I was right. What do you know? Let's go to the Anytime Hotline and hear from you all.
Hey, bros. First-time caller. I'm from Central PA, but I root for all things Philadelphia. I just finished watching this Eagles game, and that defense ain't going to do nothing against these bigger teams. It's like watching the Phillies all over again. Offense is good for both these teams, the Phillies and the Eagles, but the defense, pitching, letting us down, squeaked out with a win. I mean, we'll take it, but you got to do much better than that if you're going to end up with any type of victory. Excellent.
There was a big pause there. I appreciate you as a first-time caller. There was a big pause. Kansas City, their defense doesn't light the world on fire over the last handful of years. They have an offense that can cook with the best of them. Now, they have a better quarterback, and they have a better tight end, and they have one of the most creative head coaches offensively in the entire league. And they have a different rate. But I think this Eagles team, when it gets rolling and it figures out how they'll operate, can go toe-to-toe with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You see the difference on 50-50 balls, and you see what happens when they get wide open. And even if it's a slant, they got a linebacker mismatched on Devontae Smith, and it's a nice ball about 4 or 5 yards past the line of scrimmage on the underneath route, and he takes it up the left side of the field and gets a first down. Now you're clicking. It is great what this team can do. The defense today was bad, and you still won the game. This defensive front will murder you majority of the time. I don't think they had the best day in the trenches against this team. Mailata with some rough ones. Now you're dealing with Cam Jurgens, who was apparently in a walking boot after the media got to the locker room and was able to see some of the fellas and talk to some of the guys after the game. So, is Opeta in there, and you saw the ability to get through on that right side, too, with the change when Cam Jurgens left. It wasn't fantastic all across the board, but I know I can lean on that more times than not. And there were times where Jalen Hurts had plenty to sit there in the pocket and pick apart reading through his progressions. There was also an element of a dipsy-do and use his legs. Probably one of the best leg carries, best rushing attempt for Jalen Hurts all season. There's a ton of bodies near him, escapes, floods, leaves, takes off. Great. Exceptional. All around the most polished of Jalen, which is the most important. I'd take this over the defense shining and the offense and Brian Johnson blowing and not moving the football. We need more in the red zone. We need less Kenny Gainwell stuff still. They force feed it. Some weird, strange third down calls. There's wonkiness, no doubt. But I'd rather have this. Jalen Hurts dropping dimes, a ton of dimes. And some might not even get the love it deserves. We'll love it. Nationally speaking, though, when you see highlights, it's a Tyreek Hill 70-yard touchdown. You'll see A.J. Brown. You'll probably see Devontae Smith mossing defenders so it can lead to 3 points and Jake Elliott getting on the board. That Zacchaeus throw was absurd. That throw to Dallas Goedert was absurd. Absurd. That's more important than anything else. So I'm not going to focus on the negatives. I'm aware. I also know that they have a lot of guys missing, and some of them plugged in and did well. Josh Jobe isn't some NFL experienced guy, all right? There's some snaps that he'll like to have back, and he may get picked on once in a blue moon, and they'll like to target any receiver in his direction. There's no doubt about it. With that said, though, we've seen it where a guy doesn't stand a chance. Josh Jobe can at least take reasonable reps without it all falling apart, just as an individual player. Sean Desai put some of these defenders in tough positions, and Eric Bieniemy had the answer, and schematically there might be certain things that made this look uglier. But Josh Jobe, here's Josh Jobe, here's Morrow, here's your fill-ins. So it is nice to have that, and it could be way worse. Believe it or not, it could be way sloppier on that end. You're dealing with a lot of injuries. You're dealing with a new defense. You're dealing with new communication, and they're 4-0 doing it. I believe in the defensive line long-term to expect better when everybody returns, and then when maybe, Jalen Carter swallows people up instead of letting them escape. Fletcher Cox is turning back the clock. I apologize. Let's go back to the phones.
Oh, Broads, I'm so torn on this game, man. You know, one side of me says a W is a W, and that's all that's going to matter later on, and it's a divisional game. It's a tough game. They always play us tough. Oh, but man, I was just not happy with almost anything on this team today. You know, a defense gets 5 sacks. That's pretty good. And I know the secondary is beat to hell and all that, and I'm trying to tell myself that, but I just did not enjoy watching that game. One major positive I can say, though, is that Jalen looked pretty damn good a couple of times there. Some excellent dimes thrown in tough situations. So it's good to see that back from him. It still looks lost in the run game. I don't know. But it's a win. Go Birds.
I think teams are also trying to let Jalen Hurts make certain decisions when it is a read option and there's some confusion in reading where the other team is lining up and seeing what happens when the ball is snapped. Should he keep it, should he not? I think other teams have maybe checked some of the boxes when figuring out how to approach this Eagles offense. So, I don't know. I feel like an outlier, and I'm not a fan of it that I'm by myself. Is the difference this? And I don't know. I'm strictly asking the question. I know they're fucking good. There's not a doubt in my mind if this team can kick ass for a while with this unit, with this core led by Jalen. I know they're great. Is everybody else trying to find out, asking themselves, is this team good? And they need perfection to justify their thought of them being good. I don't know. I appreciate all this. And I'm nervous, don't get me wrong. I don't like seeing one more play on the clock. It gets stopped at 1 second. In what world? Then they get one more throw at it. It's to the right sideline. It's a touchdown. Oh no, is Riverboat Ron going to go for it? Because if they do, I think we probably lose. Oh, what's that? He pulls one hell of a bitch move and he kicks the extra point to go to OT. All right, we're winning this game. That's it right there. That is the difference in winning or losing that football game. And as a fan, that's the difference in my emotions quickly shifting to we win this game. I went from shit, it's over, we're screwed. Damn it, they let this one go. Won't rule out the season being over because as I saw last year, that there's something about this team and this matchup and it's your own division and all those games are always a big question mark. Anybody can pop off on any day. I thought I saw some good things from Robinson, who's sitting on my bench. He had some shifty moves, and same with Gibson. You know, those two can definitely do something when the football are in their hands. That catch that Reed Blankenship rightfully forced out of bounds, and they did get the call properly. Good play by him. Huge play by him. Oh, Reed Blankenship. In what world? Remember last year, the beat reporters were saying this guy looks good in practice. Think about where we are 365 days later. It's pretty outrageous. I know this team is great. And I know it's so week to week. It blows my mind, though, because over 162 of Philly's games, I'm nuts with this team, and it's this team. It's this group. I wasn't this way with Carson Wentz. I wasn't this way with Doug Peterson. I wasn't, because they would go 5-7 and then win their final 4, and I'm like, oh, God, I hate this. That's not the case here. This team has shown to me win after win, after win, after win. In 4 attempts. That would be 4-0. My friend Kanye West once said something, and not this version of Kanye West. I want to be very clear. I'm talking about the old Kanye. The old Kanye. Not this Kanye. The old Kanye. He said something once, and I feel very similar to him.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. 4-0, baby. 175 for A.J. Brown. Devontae getting some numbers, too. This team's great. What's next?
Jesus Christ, bros. Holy shit. Well, I'm glad they won, but man, that one had me sweating at the end. Biggest thing is penalties in critical moments. We got to be better there. We got to clean that up because that screwed us over quite a few times during the game, especially in big moments. I didn't hate A.J. Brown doing the whole taunting thing at the end there. I know him and that guy were battling the whole game, but, you got to wonder if that, helped them out on that last drive to tie the game up.
It definitely did, and I don't hate it from a personal level. I think the league should allow players to have personality and ball out and show excitement and be thrilled that, I don't know, you're scoring touchdowns in the National Football League and you're extremely talented. To me, that would coexist, being excited and expressing that. I don't know. For me, it's very simple. But the league, they call it a certain way, and as a pro trying to win football games, his best friend gets right into his face afterwards, acknowledging that we cannot participate in this crap. If we want to be the best we can be, we have to clean it up. And there were a ton of flags, and I'm sure they're going to emphasize during practice this week. They'll probably go over some details on lining up because they know what the league is looking like and looking at when it comes to the push-tush, the tush-push. I messed it up again. It will happen every single time. But what else will happen every single time? And this is where we close things out. The Eagles win a football game. That's right. They don't lose 4-0. 4-0. Enjoy it, baby. 4-0. Jalen Hurts is back. 4-0. They're great. They're great. They're great. They're great. Enjoy it. We'll be talking about this all week long. If you want to call in and leave a call for some of the shows throughout the week, go ahead. 856-442-9805. If I didn't get to your call already that you left, don't worry. We'll get to it. I promise you. I love you guys so much, and we'll be talking very soon.